देवी सर्वभूतेषु ज्ञान रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. The form of energy present in all of us in kind of information, in kind of knowledge. I pray to the knowledge present everywhere in the universe and start today's discussion on 7 rishis. Creation is unique, and we the human being are always in the ego and in the pride that we know a lot of things, and known human history is not more than 3,000 to 5,000 years. Other histories are available in form of some books, in form of Puranas, Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran. The wisdom is available, but we say that maybe these are the stories. But they are the true wisdom, and we must try to take whatever we can from these mystic books. The 5 people are who helps us for giving the wisdom. 7 people who helps us for giving the wisdom present in the universe in form of sound vibrations, in form of different frequencies. They were initially called rishis. Rishis were like today's scientists. They have discovered, found, and written those wisdom in form of the books. And these famous rishis keeps changing depending upon which manvantar and which kalpa you are in. Every manvantar you have different 7 rishis. But for last 7 manvantar, I have seen the numbers are always 7. Name change. And in this our manvantar, the manvantar in which we are living at the moment, you know what kalp is? Kalp is called in English aeon. A-E-O-N is the English word for kalp, and one kalp is equal to 432 billion years. Okay? And in kalp there are several manvantars. The age of one manvantar is close to 3.07 million years. Okay? So in this manvantar, we have 7 rishis, and I give you their names. Okay? These names, somebody can tell you, no, these are not the 7 rishis, there are some different. Because every manvantar had 7 rishis. And as I tell you, that these names, some of the names remains the same, some of the name changes, but the figure of these rishis always remains in 7. So, here the greatest spiritual persons are called these rishis, and they are 7, and therefore they are called Sapt rishis. Sapt in Sanskrit is 7 in English, and rishis are rishis because you do not have any exact translation in English. Therefore, I will call them rishis only, but they are somewhat like close to today's scientist, but scientist has got knowledge and wisdom in one direction, and these rishis had the wisdom in almost all the directions, but they were also specialized in one. Other than these 7 rishis, there were many other rishis also, from whom the wisdom to us has come in the written form. Okay. The first rishi I want to name you is called Bharadwaj. He is your guru's ancestors. And from whose DNA our body is made, we call it Gotra. And your guru's Gotra is Bharadwaj. That means, now there comes in almost all the religions, including Sanatana, including Hinduism, they say that the great people should practice celibacy and should not be married. Now, anyone who wants to become a priest, the precondition these days is that you should be unmarried. If you want to become the priest in a temple, in a church, or in almost all the religions of the world, the preconditions becomes that you must be unmarried and you should be able to serve the God. But I want to say you, the greatest sages, the greatest of the wisdom givers, these Saptarishis were all married. They had a beautiful family, and they were also connected with the universe, connected with the source, connected with goddesses and God. And some of them, like Kashyapa, when I explain about him, he is the father of devils and father of gods. So, the capability was immense, the spiritual wisdom was immense, the spiritual power was immense. They had almost everything from spirituality. But still, they were married and they were having their own family. So the Rishi Bharadwaja, the first one, his wife's name was Susila. And Susila and Bharadwaj put together has given lot of stories related to spirituality. Lot of history also was given by them. A very famous story, book of religions, Ramayana, which is being said that it is the most read book world over. And in the Ramayana, if you read, this is the discussions between Shiva and Parvati, discussions between Kagbhusundi and Garun, and discussion between Yagyavalkya and Bharadwaj. So Bharadwaj has tried to give us in the most simple form, along with Rishi Yagyavalkya, the story book of Ramayana, the history book of Ramayana. Everywhere it has been given what time, what muhurta, what auspicious time Ram was born and how he tried to do everything as per the law of nature and succeeded in life. That whole of the history has been recorded with Yagyavalkya by Bharadwaj. Bharadwaj also came in contact with the great dancer called Apsara, and then Acharya Drona was born. And this Acharya Drona was the instrumental of teaching great princess of Indraprastha, of Hastinapura, which is today called Delhi, the capital of India, and a great war later on fought between the Kauravas and Pandavas, and he was a great guru teaching archery and teaching the mantras, how you can use the mantras to destroy your enemies. Okay, so that was Acharya Drona. Acharya Drona was son of Rishi Bharadwaj. And Rishi Bharadwaj's contribution to humanity is immense. He has taught yoga, he has taught astrology, and he has taught many other mystic things which are being used today. The second Rishi is Vasistha. He is a unique person. He has a great spiritual wisdom and power. And his wife, Arundhati, she was having less wisdom, less power. And every time Vasistha has more, he has divided between him and his wife, so that his wife can reach to the spiritual wisdom of enlightenment, to the spiritual wisdom of liberation along with him. And every Rishi has got at least one book, and it is called Samhita. What is Samhita? Samhita is the collections of one's life, the experiences of one's life. In today's world, you can call it autobiography. Okay, so Vasistha has also got Samhita called Vasistha Samhita, in which lots and lots of mantras are given. You can always use this book for your advantage. And second thing, what Vasistha has taught, a few days back I was discussing about yoga, samadhi. And then the yoga teacher asked me a question. Your yoga is different than yoga taught by Patanjali. From where you have got this wisdom? I said, it is from me. You consider that it is from me. No, I want to know source. I said, source for this wisdom is source. I do not know, and you will be surprised to know that we human beings are not satisfied. And when somebody talks the truth with you, you want always to know the evidence. And what is the evidence? How do we say that it is evident? Not by saying. They think that written wisdom, written knowledge, written information is the correct one. And I tried to tell her, no, I'm saying this is okay, this is final, you just take it. She says, no. And then I understood what she means. And then I said, okay, you can refer Mahakal Sangita. Sangita is the collection. Sangita is an autobiography or a collection of my life's experience. So if you do not want to refer to Bhaneswaranand Sangita, you can go back and refer to Vasishtha Sangita, or you can also refer to a book called Yog Vasishtha. Okay, in which Vasishtha has explained yoga. He was one of the great guru, and he was the guru of Lord Rama. Rama has several gurus, almost many rishis, he was so lucky that before he received his enlightenment, he learned from Vasishtha, he learned from Vishwamitra, he also learned from Bharadwaj, he learned from Agastya, and many rishis. He went and visited their ashram and learned whatever he could. So Vasishtha was Ram's guru, and he has taught yoga to Ram. Okay? So if you want to go to the ancient wisdom of yoga, ancient wisdom of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan and samadhi, you can also go to the book Yoga Vasishtha, in which every aspect has been explained very beautifully. He had a long life, and with Arundhati he has 100 children. Okay. So what I want to say every time why I am saying this, that whatever the preconditions we have in our mind that written wisdom is the truth, that a person who has devoted his life in the temple, in the churches, in the religious places, has the knowledge. In fact, the wisdom from where it started, the source from where it started, it says other way. It says that you don't need to leave anything. What you need is to get involved in spirituality completely. What you need is your inquisitiveness. When you are asking 10 questions, 9 questions are related to non-spirituality. 1 is related to spirituality. Instead, what it should become, 9 should be related to spiritual development and 1 should be related to life aspects. But it is becoming other way. Third Rishi was Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra had a very, very strange life. Okay. He was a very famous king. Then he visited Vasishtha's ashram and he found the richness of spirituality. and he became jealous of Vasishtha and started his spiritual journey. There was an inner desire that I should be able to defeat Vasishtha. But in the process of defeating him, he started learning the wisdom and learning the wisdom and learning the wisdom, and finally his desire went away. And then Vasishtha himself has declared him Brahma Rishi. Brahma Rishi are the rishis which knows the Brahman, who knows the source. One who knows the source is Brahma Rishi. Okay. And of course he is part of Saptarishi because he is part of those seven, and he is also Brahma Rishi. All these rishis are also the Brahma Rishi. Next one is Gautam. Okay, Gautam was also married, though his married life was not very rosy, because Ahilya was the most beautiful woman, and somebody called Indra tried to take her. So there had been little difficulties in their life, but Gautam has also contributed a lot for the spiritual wisdom to give, and he has taught how can we live in this world without getting involved. That was his main teaching, and he has done it very beautifully. You can go through the books of Gautam and you will be able to find a great wisdom to follow. Next one, the fifth one I think now, is called Atri. Okay? Atri was married to Anasuya, and Anasuya was the most faithful woman in the universe. Even the goddesses and gods were a little jealous of her. And then she was tested. It is being said that you are very intelligent, but how do I know that you are intelligent? Intelligence has to be tested. Your grade in the examination tells about your intelligence. So she was tested by 3 mother goddesses and then was declared the most wise, most enlightened, most powerful woman of the mankind. And in that testing, she got a son, and that was called Datta, and Datta was a great rishi by himself, and he has given the first Gita to this world. Now, we think that Krishna has given, only Krishna's Gita is the one Gita, but Krishna's Gita is third and latest. The first Gita was given by Dattatreya. Datta, and since he was son of Atri, he was also called Atreya. Dattatreya. And this book is very famous book, and it is called Avadhut Gita. Okay, and this says whatever the real wisdom is, that you are nothing but consciousness. your hands are not yours, your legs are not yours, you are unnecessarily involved. There is no need to get involved with anything. All this is part of that Gita. And it says, connect to your higher self, all your karmas becomes null and void. If you do not, then you have to suffer and enjoy your karmas. Okay. Next time, any time when you visit this ashram, remind me, and I can maybe take you to the birthplace of Datta, which is about 100 kilometers from here. And also the place where he has got his enlightened things is about 500 kilometers from your ashram, and if you want, you can even visit that place. Okay, it is very close to a disciple of mine who was very recently been in Junagadh to see the tigers, to see the lions. It is very near to that place, and Asiatic lions these days live only in that place naturally. Okay, so there are about 450 lions staying close to the place where he has prayed for his enlightenment. You can also go there and see and feel the energy of that. And you can also visit the Ansuya temple and can feel the energy of the goddess Ansuya in nearby area. Atri has contributed a lot. He was a father figure even for Shiva. When Shiva married, Shiva did not have a father because they are not born. That time he said, he requested Atri, you have to play my father's and come along with me for my marriage. Such were the greatness of these rishis. The next one is Kashyapa. And it is being said that if you do not have a Gotra, if you do not know what your DNA is, then you belongs to Kashyap DNA. Okay, Kashyap had two women, mainly Diti and Aditi. From Diti, sun and these planets were produced. We call them God. The capacity to give makes you God. And these children of Diti were always on the giving side. And children of Aditi were always on the taking sides. So, gods and devils are brothers. They are the children of the same father, but different moms. Kashyap taught us how to live on the Mother Earth and how to live when your natures are not matching. How to live together with someone when your nature is not matching. And that was a very, very, very important aspect. And next, and the last Rishi of Saptarishi is Jamdagni. Jamdagni married Renuka. And he always used to remain in meditation, in meditative state. And then they got a child called Parasurama. Parasurama was the person who balanced this earth 18 times. All those who were trying to fight, they were not behaving properly in a nice manner. He has cleared them 18 times from this earth and established every time the rule of law of nature. We human beings, we think that has become nasty these days. That's not true. We were always nasty. Our forefathers were similar like us. We always believed in exploiting the earth, exploiting the plants, exploiting the surroundings. And Rishi Parasuram was balancing it all the time. So balancing work was done by him. And Jamdagni Sangita also you can read. It is the very, very famous book in which you can get what wisdom Rishi Jamdagni has given to the universe, to our Mother Earth, and to all of us in humanity. Here I would like to say you, enlightened state can be attained by anyone. God, human, okay, but state of liberation can only be attained by human being. The goddesses and God doesn't have capacity and capability to attain the liberation. Therefore, we as a human are very blessed, and we must know that we are blessed and take the advantage of it, be very deep into spirituality and reach to the highest state of it. We can learn, you will find a lot of, if you try to search, you will find lot of things about these rishis everywhere, because they are almost everywhere. But their Sangita, their collection is not in the form of stories. Vedas are not in the form of stories. Therefore, we do not enjoy them as much as we enjoy the other religious books which are written in a story form. We always like to read stories, and therefore our rishis down the line has tried to make this wisdom in form of stories. There is nothing wrong in reading those stories. You must read them. You must know your culture. You must know everything. But if you want to go for the real wisdom, then you have to go away from the stories and go and read the Vedas, read the Sangita of these great rishis, read Yog Vasishtha, read Mahakal Sangita. All those books will give you a real glimpse of the real wisdom. Thank you so much.